True Purpose Ministries is a year-long discipleship program for men who have fallen short in life. I am the founder, and I started True Purpose Ministries in 2009. We started out in a mobile home housing the men, about 12 men for the first year, and we had a thrift store in South Knoxville that funded our program. I remember driving along in a Suburban with a trailer, trying to go pick up anything that we could use to sell in the thrift store, whether it be old couches, TVs, whatever the case was. We just was trying to receive anything possible to sell to fund our ministry. That thrift store did well. It continued to flourish, and as it continued to flourish, we needed more room for the men. We quickly grew out of the mobile home, and we went from facility to facility in Knoxville as we found a greater need, because the need in Knoxville was so great. We understand that drugs and alcohol is an epidemic in the city of Knoxville. We were approached by a person who had a 60-acre farm, and it would just seem to be the perfect place for us. We could have raised our own crops. We could raise horses. It would be just a great retreat for the men to go. And we decided that that would be the best place for our ministry. So we decided to move out there. We moved all of our vehicles, all the furniture and everything out there. It was great. We were living there. And we slowly started to realize that the neighborhood did not want us out there. Whether it be fear, whether it be insecurities, we really don't know. But basically, we understand that they just didn't understand the nature of our ministry and who we were. As we saw that they did not want us out there, we were brought before the Blount County Zoning and Appeals meeting, and we quickly realized that we were asked to leave in 30 days. That was where we came in contact with Gil and Penny Heinsohn at White Oak Construction.
My wife and I, every morning we have coffee, or she has tea, and we read the paper together before going to work.
I saw this article about True Purpose Ministries, which is a men's ministry, and the article really moved me because it said that these men had to leave this property because of mainly neighbors who wanted them out.
It struck a chord, but I had a busy day, had a lot to do, really. It was unfortunate. However, through the day, it kept just coming up in my mind, just kept coming up. And by the end of the day, I just felt I had to call Pastor Graham, who was in charge of this ministry, and just talk to him about it.
I had absolutely no idea what we were going to do. The things that we may have been looking at was to take all these guys to Carm, to Knox Area Rescue Missions.
We decided we would build an addition on our office for their meeting room and build them some housing. And the fact that all within a matter of a couple of weeks, including going back in front of the same planning commission that was at odds with them in the same county, at the other end of the county, and they unanimously approved to go forward. That was another moment. Knew something was happening. Next thing I realized is that, how am I going to build this in 90 days? I really, we have crews, but that would definitely tax us to accomplish that. So we decided we would just employ. So we moved everybody, gave them all a job, all the men at the ministry. And it was incredible to watch how they gravitated towards the opportunity. With that, we started teaching, disciplines, everything from flooring, tile, painting, roofing, just any of the carpentry. That grew into culinary arts. We were having to feed 45 people.
It's a hard job, and I'm speaking about the pastors, the counselors, and the young men that come through the doors that I get the privilege of meeting, and just to hear their stories, why they're there. It could be my son. It could be anybody's son who has just struggled. And to have these men there who just love them.
And now we can show these guys that when they come in, they are coming into an atmosphere of excellence. to be able to know that God has nothing but greatness destined for them.
It's been an interesting couple of years. We have been able to produce just some incredibly fine workers. We've also been able to be very successful in placing them with, I guess, what I would call my competition. But I have hired some of these men directly myself after they completed, as have other builders to run crews. And we're real happy to participate in the training of the men so that when they do complete here and when they do leave, they really do have the life skills to survive out there, to do well, have a family, and not have to worry about looking back.
We should always be receptive to help others, even if it's just the smallest gesture, like reading an article in a paper, and then just taking it to somebody who you think might be able to help. Because just that small little action creates such a positive response and helps so many people.
The day driving around trying so hard to forget their problem. It wasn't my problem. It wasn't my cross to bear. It's overwhelming. I kind of look back the days that we built this. We only had 91 days. We had 90 days actually. We were given to get the men moved due to the agreement with the planning and zoning. And it took the guys 91 days, but I'm pretty proud of them.
One of the greatest needs that we see right now with True Purpose Ministries is a graduation house. We have seen a direct correlation with the next year in the program after the 1-year graduation process, because we have seen that if they can stay clean for another 2 years and be held accountable, live that life, get that job in the discipline that they were trained in here at True Purpose, then we see that their whole life really transforms after that period of 2 years.
So you notice we built this with the intent of it being like a campus. The men walk up there to be fed, the building behind us, that also their counseling, anything like that's going to happen that involves their training, their Bible study, their worship service, all that happens up in that building. And then they come back here, to live. That's why it's so important to us to want to get that graduation house built here soon, so that we just don't lose men back to the same situation that got them here in the first place. It's just that's the only thing left that I feel that we really do need to accomplish.
I had a really rocky road prior to coming to True Purpose. I made a lot of decisions that you could say were less than par, that were disappointing to myself and to my family, but I was so focused on drugs that it didn't really matter, what anyone else thought. I just wanted to fill that hole. Prior to coming in, it was drugs, bad friends, bad decisions, horrible job choices, all the above.
Before I even found out about True Purpose, he was only going to have 2 options for me, and that was to pick out which field I wanted to drop him in with a sleeping bag, or take him to the rescue mission. That I was at that point.
So I gave True Purpose a shot, and when I came in, I was real sick, didn't feel good, didn't want to be here, didn't really know much about religion or Jesus per se, more so than religion. But I came in not knowing what to expect. I'd heard that you work, I'd heard this and that. And it was really crazy because I came in, everybody was really happy to see you, gave you hugs, told you they loved you. And at first you're kind of like, I don't know about all this, man. Like, I don't even know you and you want to hug me,
He had to struggle through those things and is still struggling through all of those mistakes that were made.
You just want to rise up and be like, man, I don't have to be here. I deserve better than this. It's all about me. But if you can just die to yourself and realize, man, I screwed up. I do need to be here. This is the best for me. And you can really accept that. It makes the whole experience so much more enjoyable. Once you get that through your head, the rest is a breeze.
And I liken it to falling down the rabbit hole, and you fell deep and he's coming. He's finally out.
You kind of fall from grace, and you got to work your way. You got to pay that penance. It's really what it is. It's not just about, I mean, it is all about accepting Jesus Christ, but there's also that work that you have to do to prove that you're worthy again, you know, that you're worthy of that trust with your family.
Hopefully they will find a true purpose, because that's been my and my son's saving grace, is that even if you don't have that, you have to get to that point where you have to give it up. You have to give it up to the Lord.
So it's all in all, it's been positive in every way for me.